Hey everybody, Citizens in Action Clark County here. We're back with more investigative citizen research for you on our local Clark County and City of Jeff government. We're going to call this video Who's Who and What to Do because we have a lot of local players who keep popping up everywhere we turn, and we want you to know how they're connected and what they're up to. We also want to equip you with the actionable items that you can start doing yourself. But first, we need to clarify a point about the recent $1.2 million police vehicle purchase that has a lot of our local officials scrambling and trying to backpedal now. They kept calling this huge purchase a lease when the financial documents actually show just a simple purchase and a loan through First Savings Bank. So, as a recap, here's Mike Moore in a publicly streamed video essentially making fun of our confusion and laughing about it, when in fact it's he who has no clue what kind of purchase this is because he just blindly approved it without much oversight at all or any question. Take a listen to this from our last video.
And this is basically this is a lease to purchase, correct?
No, you'll have it completely paid off, and you'll have the cars again.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. It's lease to own, well,
Yeah, lease to own or lease to purchase.
yeah,
Correct?
yeah. It'll be at the end of the period, at the end of the 4-year period, there will be no loan balance. The titles will be yours, the vehicles will be yours.
I just want to clarify this because there's been some confusion by some folks out there that what this is. It is a lease, but at the end of the lease, we're going to own it, correct?
You will own that.
Okay, just want to make it clear to folks out there confused.
Just to clarify, Mike Moore and his very incompetent staff are the only ones confused about this transaction. This was a very simple purchase through a loan with First Savings Bank. In no way is this a lease of any sort after analyzing the documents. So these people in charge of our taxpayer dollars do not even know the difference between a lease and a purchase. Pretty scary. Here's the other thing that we want to show you all before we get into who's who. If you go to the Jeffersonville government building or just drive around the streets of the Clark County Courthouse, you are going to find all kinds of vehicles with these John Jones stickers on them, John Jones tags, etc. It is insane because what we were told about the John Jones police pursuit vehicle purchase is that John Jones was super special and that they were the only ones who could do the police upfits, and that's why we purchased all these vehicles from John Jones, which is 25 to 35 miles away. But they didn't tell us that they had all these city vehicles that were being purchased by John Jones as well. So just in a random drive around town, of course, this is a police vehicle. But what about all these other cars that have these John Jones tags? And this is just around government buildings. I assure you, if you go to another random place like Kroger or Walmart or any public place around the city, you are not going to find cars with these John Jones tags. It's just not a popular auto dealership outside of our local government, apparently. So we found that to be very interesting. And now you can pay attention when you are driving around your local government buildings as well. So we made a nice little family tree for you all that I'm going to go through. And the point of this is just to show you all the many connections between primarily Jamie Knoll, but the connections between other people as well in Clark County and City of Jeff. We are not insinuating that the people that we've included here are engaging in any kind of illegal or unethical behavior. We are simply taking publicly available documents to be able to put it together so that you can see the web of the key players here. Okay, so obviously we're going to start with Jamie Knoll because he's under investigation. He's the former Clark County Sheriff, president of Clark County Republican GOP. Wife is Misty Knoll and Genco Group LLC business partner. We'll talk more about Genco in just a minute. He has a lot of businesses, including New Chapel EMS, which is currently having all kinds of stuff subpoenaed. His sister, Lisa Gill, is the City of Jeffersonville clerk, reelected to second term in 2024. Her salary per public record is $70K. Served 2 terms on city council, 3 years as council president. Is the sister of Jamie Knoll, like I just said. She is also the wife of Steve Gill, the Clark County recorder, and mother of Kate Beeks, who is the Clark County chief deputy treasurer. And here we have Steve Gill, Clark County recorder, husband of Lisa Gill, brother-in-law to Jamie Knoll, business partner of Jamie Knoll, the Utica Firefighters Association. And this is a pretty nice sports car he drove around during his campaign. And as you can probably guess, it was a John Jones vehicle. A little blurry there, but John Jones it is indeed. And here is a copy of the Secretary of State business information for Utica Township Fire Department Incorporated, DBA New Chapel Fire and EMS. You can see here Steve Gill is a governing person, and Jamie Knoll is one of the incorporators. Kate Beeks is Clark County Chief Deputy Treasurer, daughter of Lisa and Steve Gill, niece of Jamie Knoll. There are pictures available of her. However, they are adult children, as is Casey Knoll, who's also seemingly under investigation related to Jamie Knoll. However, we don't really feel right about sharing people's children's photos on here, but you can find them if you search. Okay, so that is the actual family of Jamie Knoll. There could be more. We don't know, but those are the ones that we know about. And here we get into Jamie and Misty Knowles Genco Group LLC, which was started in August 2018, is an active business. This is one of the ones that they are subpoenaing all kinds of documents for. If you look it up online, you really can't find very much about it. So just kind of remember, keep in mind, Genco Group developed in August 18. We're going to take a little detour here because we are also noticing that in the subpoena documents from the Ripley County prosecutor, they're asking for all kinds of documentation from Ally Financial. And what kind of struck us as weird about that is that Ally Financial is not a local bank. It's out of town. And what we remember about Ally Financial is that recently Mayor Mike Moore's vehicle, through John Jones, of course, his Chevy Blazer was purchased by the city in January 2023, and it was financed. Oh, well, here, let's go here first. The weird thing about that is around the same time, Mike Moore's campaign financial documents show John Jones' payment of $16,326 for some kind of vehicle. So around the same time that the city is purchasing him a new vehicle, he's also giving money to John Jones, and that is being financed through Ally Bank. It was later refinanced, it looks like, through First Savings Bank. So kind of a weird thing there. And also just one thing to note is that he traded in a police vehicle for his new mayor's vehicle. So we don't know why he didn't trade in the prior mayor's vehicle for the new one, but instead a cop car was traded. So that was a little detour. Now we go to Kenny Hubanks, because Kenny Hubanks seems to be a person of interest related to Jamie Knoll. So what do we know about Kenny Hubanks? He's the chair of the Scott County Republican Party, GOP. He's the former Clark County Major. His wife, Lindy Hubanks, is Scott County Council President, and she's also listed on multiple businesses with Kenny. Former temporary sheriff of Scott County. He drove all the way to South Carolina and posed as a reporter along with another guy to investigate the opponent of Scotty Maples, Ed Byers, during our most recent sheriff campaign. So that was an interesting story that made the news.
And prosecutors said more charges could be coming.
We're unsure when that will be completed and what results and what happens after that. That may take us in a new direction. It may provide additional insight to some of the things that were going on.
One of the things prosecutors are looking into is the business dealings of Kenny Hubanks. Hubanks is the chair of the Scott County Republican Party and is a former Clark County Major. He was the subject of a Wave Troubleshooters investigation in October 2022. Hubanks and another employee made a trip down to South Carolina posing as newspaper reporters, claiming they were doing opposition research against the Democrat candidate for Clark County Sheriff. It was never proven that Knoll, who was the sheriff and the chair of the Clark County Republican Party at the time, paid the men to make the trip. But now, prosecutors are looking into his past.
Here's a picture that we found. There's Jamie Knoll, Kenny Hubanks, Mike Sodrell. Not sure who the two other people are. So Hubanks, remember Misty and Jamie Knoll created a GenCo in August of 2018. Well, Hubanks also created a separate GenCo in October 2018, which he just dissolved this year in April. So kind of coincidental that they had two separate GenCos. And just another slight detour. There's the two GenCos. Just another slight detour here. What does the name GenCo mean? The only thing that we know about it was uncovered in one of 4 Public Safety's videos that GenCo Pura Olive Oil Company just happens to be the front company that was covered in The Godfather, the movie. And it was the cover business to disguise the money laundering. So I don't know if they picked that name because they think they're gangsters or if it had some sort of other innocent meaning. Okay, so subpoena documents, we can see this is one of the 600 documents dropped, released from the courts. They are looking all into Kenny Hubanks. There's all of his businesses here, Kenny Hubanks, Hubanks Enterprises, Properties LLC, E&H Family Insurance, which he does currently sell insurance, GenCo Enterprises, and Blue Line Attire LLC. So Blue Line Attire LLC is interesting because I don't know what it has to do with Jamie Knoll, but we know it certainly has something to do with Scotty Maples. Because here's the business information for Blue Line Attire, dissolved in 2017, but the governing people are actually Scotty Maples and Kenny Hubanks. So that takes us over to Scotty Maples. Scotty Maples is our current Clark County Sheriff, turned in his best buddy, Jamie Knoll, who's now facing 15 felony counts. Chief Deputy under Jamie Knoll, so he was Jamie Knoll's right-hand man for a long time. Former Corrections Officer in the Clark County Jail, former Jeffersonville City Council member, and business partner of Kenny Hubanks for Blue Line Attire. And he also has this side business called Witta Strategies. We don't know very much about that. It does seem to be active. Developed in 2019. He's the only person listed here. When we Google this, not very much comes up. So there's Scotty Maples, Sheriff Scotty Maples, with his really expensive-looking, souped-up truck. And if you look here to the right, you can see that there's a John Jones plate on there. So another detour. These people, Ed Byers and Dr. Treva Hodges, are not really connected in the family tree, so I've kind of outlined it in a different color here. But just a little backstory, Ed Byers ran against Scotty Maples for Clark County Sheriff. His family is in South Carolina, and Hubanks drove all the way there to question the family members at their personal residence, posing as a reporter for what they described as counter-investigation during the campaign. Dr. Treva Hodges recently won her second term as mayor of Charlestown.
Clark County Sheriff is one of many hotly contested in our area, but is the only one where people pretending to be reporters have shown up hundreds of miles away asking questions about one of the candidates to their relatives and friends. You're watching Wave News at 11. I'm John Bull. Politics has been described as a full contact sport. Campaigns research each other all the time. Think of it as warming up before the candidates tangle with each other in public. But Wave News troubleshooter Mark Stevens says one candidate is crying foul.
The Democratic candidate for sheriff in Clark County, Ed Byers, says a friend of his and a family member in the Carolinas were approached by 2 men saying they were newspaper reporters back in August. But when he saw a video of the incident, that story began to seem like fiction.
I don't think either witness really bought it.
Who are these 2 men standing outside of Ed Byers' daughter's home in Lancaster, South Carolina back in August? Byers started asking questions after a surveillance camera captured this SUV pulling into the driveway 495 miles away from Jeffersonville. Byers' future son-in-law Tommy is on the back deck smoking in his bathrobe. He told me the men said they were newspaper reporters and wanted to get some more information on Byers, who's the Democrat running for sheriff against Republican Scotty Maples. Tommy says they asked about Byers' ex-wife and his other kids. Tommy didn't have much to say to them, and the two men left after about 5 minutes. Byers sent this photo of Major Donovan Herod, the chief of detectives for the Clark County Sheriff, to Tommy and his friend. They both said, "That's him." He also sent this photo of former Clark County Major Kenny Hubanks. He resigned from the department in 2019, sells insurance now, and is the chairman of the Scott County Republican Party. Again, they said, "That's him." A sheriff's office source also confirmed to Byers the men in the video are both Herod and Hubanks.
Who sent them down there, and why are they in what appears to be an unmarked vehicle in South Carolina?
We would look at that as an abuse of power if they were trying to exert undue influence as law enforcement officers.
Byers expected people to look into his background as a candidate. He didn't expect this.
I think that by harassing family members and friends, I think that goes beyond oppositional research. That's that fear of culture of fear and intimidation.
We've requested county records, including timesheets and emails. A lawyer told us on October 3rd it could take 45 days to gather, review, and release the records, putting their release after the election.
We can certainly relate to that because we submitted records requests back in September for this very large police vehicle purchase with John Jones. And they tried to hold our records until after our local election as well, until we demanded those records. We still don't have the records that we requested back in September to completely put this puzzle together. Before she won her second term as mayor of Charlestown, and after Scotty Maples became our new sheriff, this is what Scotty Maples posted as one of his first social media postings after winning his election. So this made the news as well. A newly elected sheriff's social media post has some people questioning its true meaning. On Tuesday, Clark County Sheriff-elect Scotty Maples posted on Facebook, "I'm accepting applications for mayor of Charlestown. Apply within. Hashtag I'm not done. Hashtag you are next, Treva." Treva Hodges is the mayor of Charlestown, a city in Clark County. Her husband, Ed Byers, ran against Maples for the position of Clark County Sheriff. So as somebody who is a constitutional peace officer, supposedly, who is supposed to uphold free and fair elections in our republic, this is a very odd mafia-like statement to make. The first statement he made on social media was not anything to unite everyone, but seemingly to go after Treva. So we found that interesting as well. Here was Misty Knowles' post that she made on social media after Ed Byers lost the candidacy for Clark County Sheriff. So she's turned his sign into Ed well by. So these are the type of people we're talking about. This is the maturity level we're talking about. This looks like something that a high school bully would post. Just very interesting. Okay, that takes us over to John Jones. And we just want to note here that some of the subpoena documents for Meckham Auctions headquarters does list, amongst other things, John Jones Automotive. So they are looking at him. Okay, so that takes us back to the connection between Jamie Knoll and Matt Owen. So here is the business information for New Chapel Emergency Medical Services, New Chapel EMS. You can see here it is active. Governing people are Jamie Knoll, Matt Owen, Shannon Grant. We don't know a whole lot about Shannon Grant other than her name has popped up in a few places. Okay, so that takes us over to Matt Owen. He is the Jeffersonville City Council president until January of 24. He did just recently lose his spot. He is assistant chief at New Chapel EMS, Jeffersonville Redevelopment Commission secretary. He's been on that board since 2016. His wife, Kelly Owen, works in vehicle maintenance for City of Jeff as an inventory controller. Income of $38,482 for that position. Okay, so that kind of takes us over to the Clark County Republican Party. This is the information for the local Clark County Republican GOP. As you can see, county officials are Jamie Knoll, who is the chair. Connie Sellers, who is the vice chair, Matt Owen, who is the treasurer, and John Miller, who is the secretary. Connie Sellers is current Clark County Commissioner, Vice Chair of Clark County Republican Party GOP, member of the Clark County Republican Women, and prior Jeffersonville City Council member. And here they all are. Here's a picture from Facebook 2021. Jamie Knoll was unanimously reelected to his 4th term as Clark County GOP chairman. That was when Scotty Maples was the secretary. And here's the other 3 amigos. Now, who is John Miller? Because we see his name pop up some places as well. John L. Miller is Clark County Council. So that's separate from the commissioners. It's a different council. It's county council. Secretary of Clark County Republican GOP. He's a detective at Clarksville Police Department and trustee at Clarksville Fraternity Order of Police Lodge 144. Just to note here, he's got a couple businesses as well that we cannot find any information on. They are both active. It's a RAP LLC and 1042 Police Services. No idea what those do. Same listing address here. Seems to be a residential address. So these people sure have a lot of businesses with not a lot of available public information. What caught our attention is his business, his active business that he has with Matt Owen called Games and Gimmicks. John Levi Miller, Matt Owen. We do not know what this company is or what it does. We cannot find any information upon search. Okay, so that is leading us to connect with Mr. Larry Wilder, the attorney. Mr. Wilder did represent Matt Owen when he was arrested for a DUI in May of 2020.
Well, Matt Owen was arrested early Tuesday morning and brought here to the Clark County Jail. In addition to being president of the city council here, he's also part of a local fire department, and police say he was not driving his own vehicle when he was pulled over.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order.
On Monday evening, Matt Owen attended this Jeffersonville City Council meeting.
We had to go to these Zoom meetings. He goes to the city hall and he is physically present.
Several hours later, Indiana State Police stopped Owen on West Market Street.
My understanding is that the trooper made a stop for speeding.
Police say Owen was clocked doing 44 in a 25-mile-an-hour zone, failed field sobriety test, and his blood alcohol level was 0.154, nearly twice the legal limit.
He'll be charged with misdemeanor operating while impaired.
Jeffersonville attorney Larry Wilder is representing Owen and got the call first thing Tuesday morning.
And he was very, very upset at the situation and the circumstances that he found himself in.
In addition to being president of the Jeffersonville City Council, Owen is also a captain with the New Chapel Fire Department and was driving a vehicle registered to his employer.
The New Chapel EMS is a not-for-profit public corporation. It's operated like any other corporation, and that was a vehicle that he was, as a part of his compensation package, given to operate and drive.
Meanwhile, Owen is not talking on camera, but said in a statement, quote, "I'm embarrassed by the events of last night, and I understand that as an elected official, I'm held to a higher standard by the community and myself."
Larry Wilder resigned as Jeffersonville Council attorney in November of 2023. We played that in our last video. He's currently representing Jamie Knoll and the charges he's facing. Formerly represented Matt Owen for a DUI arrest in 2020, and he's been involved in Clark County and City of Jeff for many, many years. So that is the family tree of Clark County and City of Jeff. So what can you do? Wake up, speak up, sign up, take action. The first thing you can do is like, subscribe, and share so we can get this message out to as many people as possible. One of the most important things that you all can do is join us in our working group on Telegram, Clark County CIA Citizens in Action. Here is where we really collaborate with local people. And even if you're not local, we work with people in our surrounding areas. And even if you're further than that, come check us out so you can figure out what you might want to do in your own community. We did realize after our last video, when some of you all tried to join us on Telegram, that our Telegram link from our website is broken. Our web person is actively trying to repair this. It was just because our group was listed as private and not public. So we have since repaired that. If you download the Telegram app, you can search for our group, or I will drop a barcode here. Another thing you can always do is if you have any question about local government official misconduct, you can file a report with the fraud reporting form here in the Indiana State Board of Accounts. And we go over that again in our Telegram group. If you feel that an attorney, even though it might not be an attorney representing you, any attorney that you have contact with who violates, and you can look here, the Indiana Rules of Professional Conduct, you can go to this website and fill out a complaint so that they can investigate the conduct of the attorney. And of course, you can always contact the Indiana State Police for allegations of potential misconduct. Here's where we drop documents. Any records requests that we get, we put here. If you want to learn how to submit records requests, we've got templates here. If you want to be updated on when we submit information to the State Board of Accounts so that they can look into some of these transactions that we think are questionable, here's the most updated information. If you are unfamiliar with Telegram, you can join with an alias. Just make sure to, in the preferences, if you want to hide your full name, make sure you create a profile name and make sure that you select options to hide your phone number. Other than that, we would love to have you join us here. We need more and more of you working together. It's a way to be actively involved. If we're all working together, this is easy stuff, and together we can get a lot more done. No matter what political party you identify with, we need a diverse group of honest men and women with integrity representing us. This two-class system that's been created here where an elite few get special treatment without any accountability has got to stop. And there are a few good people working in our government. We need to support those people. We need to pay attention. It's too easy to fall into corruption when you're the only person of integrity working in a system or in a department. So let's keep paying attention so that we can support the people who want to do the right thing. This only stops when we, the people, start paying attention, getting involved, and reminding these government officials there's a lot more of us than there are of them. While there may have been a time when we were looking the other way, we are paying attention now. Now, we're all working together. Thanks, everybody. See you next time, or see you on Telegram.